Welcome to Monetize Your Passion, a podcast for moms looking to turn their passions into online brands that serve others. I'm Tara Lon, a content strategist with over 10 years of experience creating viral content seen by millions. I'm here to help you grow your brand and reach the people God has called you to serve. This podcast episode is brought to you by my content audit for brand growth. So inside of this audit, I will audit up to 3 of your platforms of choice. I will help you get clear on your niche, your messaging, your keywords. If you don't even know what keywords are, I will give you a strategy so you are reaching the right audience. I will also give you a detailed report of my findings, and I will schedule an hour session so we can strategize via Zoom and you are clear so you can grow and reach the people that God has called you to impact. If this sounds of interest, click the link in my show notes so we can work together. All right, let's get back into this episode. Hello and welcome to the show. So today I have a very special guest, Sarah Beisel, who is a Facebook group strategist and business coach for female entrepreneurs who want to grow and monetize their Facebook group. She's also the host of the Profitable Facebook Groups podcast and Facebook community. She believes that Facebook groups are the best way to build an online business and something that can be done in just 4 hours per week. I cannot wait to hear about this.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about how to grow and monetize a Facebook group. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to dig into Facebook
I'm
groups.
excited too, because now I'm getting reinvigorated about my Facebook group that is dead. So, maybe this conversation will spark life into it.
I hope so.
Yes. So why don't we start by you just telling us a little bit about you, who you are, and what do you do?
Yeah. So oh my gosh, I'm going to have to edit. Tara Lawn. Sorry. My goodness.
Remember lawnmower.
I know it was the beginning of the word that my brain just went, sorry, let's start that over. Well,
yeah.
As Tara Lawn said, my name is Sarah. I'm so happy to be here. I am a mom. I have 2 boys. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So we are very busy in this household with all the toddler antics. And I am a Facebook group strategist. I started my Facebook group, I think in 2021-ish. I actually had no idea what I was doing. I didn't ever set out to be like a Facebook groups expert or anything. I started a Facebook group because I was told it was a good idea. And I was like, all right, let's go for it. Let's see how it goes. And it was a mess for a little while, but I loved the space. I loved the potential for them. And I kept just tweaking and learning and just growing and figuring out how to make it a really good space, seeing what other people did, what worked, what didn't. And now here we are. Everybody started asking me how are you growing your Facebook group? How does it work? How are you doing all of these things? And I'm like, well, I guess let's get on a call and I'll tell you. And so that's kind of where business has evolved into. I kind of fell into this, but I love that I'm here. I love the progression, because I would never have thought I would start out having a business teaching people how to run Facebook groups, but I'm obsessed and I love it.
Oh, awesome. So speaking of progression, you started somewhere.
Yes.
I help Christian women grow their online brand. So you are doing that through your Facebook group. But where did you start? How did you get to this point where you even had a Facebook group? Were you selling products or services?
Yeah, I started out as a copywriter. I started my business in the mid-pandemic, where a lot of people were just we're all just at home, feeling very unmotivated, unpurposeful, all of the things. And I saw an ad for did you know you could make money from your writing? And I was like, what? Let's learn. I love writing. And so I started a copywriting business. So originally my Facebook group was for copywriting services and all of these things. And because I didn't really know what I was doing with the Facebook group, it was not a very successful marketing strategy at the time. I'm sure it would be absolutely fine now that I know what I'm doing. But I kind of, just evolved from there. It was originally just in copywriting and then transitioned into the Facebook groups coaching once everybody started asking me how are you doing this with your Facebook group? And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. The copywriting stuff's such a good foundation for everything that I do in my marketing, but it's not really my passion in the same way that helping people with Facebook groups is it's a passion. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love helping people pursue their passions. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people listening are trying to pursue a passion.
Yeah.
So you started with the copywriting. Now, did you have a Facebook group for copywriters? Why did you start a Facebook group as a copywriter? How did that evolve?
I was going through a coaching program at the time, and they had just said oh, having a Facebook group's a really good way to market your business. That's how we've done it. And it's all right, okay, cool. I'll start a Facebook group and see where it goes. And so I didn't really know a ton. Like I originally it was I can't even remember what it was first called. I think it was called like Authentic Christian Women or something. I can't remember. It feels like so long ago that that's what it was called. But and it was just I was trying to bring people into my space that wanted to learn or get copywriting services is essentially where it came from. So yeah, I really did not set out with this like vision of it's going to be this amazing community and all these things that I do now that I understand how important these things are. I was just like, oh, this is apparently a good idea. Let's just like start it and see where it goes.
Yeah, because you can start it and then it's like it could be crickets, right?
Yeah.
Like you you
Yeah.
have people in this group and you have to maintain it, but you're still trying to run your business. So did you originally start it as private or public? And can you just explain like
Yeah.
the difference there and what you would recommend with that?
Yeah, I always recommend private groups. So just in case you're like absolutely like beginner with Facebook groups, you can have public groups or private groups. And the public groups basically mean anyone on Facebook can see all of the content inside of the group. The private groups mean only members can see the content. And I've always had my group private because I mean, partly again, that was just kind of what I had seen other groups do, so that's what made sense to me. But a lot of the times we want to create a space where people feel safe to share information. They want to be able to, especially if you're in specific niches that are a little bit more vulnerable. So, for example, a lot of coaching niches, a lot of like health niches, anyone working with like family or marriage or anything like that particular, like we don't want that information necessarily to be public knowledge. And so I found that people were a lot more open in private groups. They were more vulnerable. They were more willing to post and share things that were going on. It felt like a little bit more of a community feel, right? Because it was an exclusive space. But I also noticed that public groups tend to have a lot of spam in them because they're not as well regulated. The people that are running public groups, not always, but a lot of the time people running public groups don't really know what they're doing quite as well. They don't have the same ability to control what's happening. They tend to be a bit like Wild Wild West. And I did not want that for my space because it gets a bit messy. You end up with a lot of people just kind of dropping links and running, or at the time that I was starting my Facebook group, a lot of like the cryptocurrency, like trading stuff was like on the rise. And so everybody was just dropping into Facebook groups like, here, buy the cryptocurrency, get into the trading. And it was just like, you're spamming this space, please stop. So private groups tend to have a lot less spam because you are much more in control of what's happening in the space. So I always recommend, especially when you're starting a Facebook group for running your business, you want it to be private so that you can have that more that greater control and that oversight, because you just like it ruins the experience for everyone when you get people coming into your group and just like spamming and trolling and doing all these things that just like make it a very unfun space to be in.
Yeah. And even though it's private, people can still request to join, but you just
Yes.
screen who you let in.
Yeah, because there's also another setting that's like hidden or visible. So you want it to be like a visible private group so people can find it, they can search for it, but then they still have to be inside the group before they can actually see and participate in anything.
Okay. So I've been in a lot of Facebook groups over the years. I'm
Yeah.
talking about a lot.
Yeah.
And some of them have thousands of people in the group.
Hmm.
And it looks like it's thriving, but sometimes even when I go to the group, there's still not a lot of activity. Do you know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like it
Yeah.
still feels like it's a dead group, even though there's thousands of members.
Yeah.
So take us through your process. Like, what did you do different to make sure it's active, it's thriving, it's growing, and
Yeah.
all the things that make it successful?
Yeah, and one thing that is important to note as well, because you mentioned talking about like coming back from a dead group, and that's something like in this context, you can have large groups that have maybe been through a pivot, and so a lot of the members are then no longer interested in the new material. So sometimes you find a group is a little quieter just because there's been a change or something, and everyone's just kind of trying to find their feet. Because I've been through that. Because I've changed my group quite a few times over the years, and it's always very natural to see like a dip in engagement or a little bit more like silent activity if you have been through that kind of change or you're kind of undergoing that change. So if you are in that spot where you have gone through a pivot, just know that that quietness is normal. It's okay. And it will pick itself back up as you get more people in the group. But anyway, back to the question, like what have I done differently? There's a couple of things that I've really focused on for engagement. I've always like I like to talk with my with my students about the concept of a party. It's something that I find really helpful, and I think this is a mindset not a lot of people have with Facebook groups, which is that your Facebook group is really not about you. Although yes, we are using it to build our businesses. I use it to sell my offers. It makes me money. Like it does all of these things, but first and foremost, I put the community first, and I think about how is this a space that people actually want to participate in. So I like to take people through like this party exercise, which is like if you're hosting a party, like what kind of party are you hosting? What is your role as the host? What are you doing to like make sure people are having fun? Like help people understand that as a Facebook group owner, you're the host of your Facebook group party, so to speak. And that mindset has always helped me think about like what can I do in this group that's going to be fun for the people in here? What are they interested in? What kind of content do they want to see? What do they want to participate in? What kind of lives or events or challenges or things could I do that they would really enjoy and want to actually show up for, rather than just making it like a billboard for my offers? Because I think a lot of people typically fall into that camp. And I did it at first too, right? Because I just didn't understand. It's very normal. A lot of other platforms are a bit that way. It's a bit like a lot of feed-based platforms like Instagram or TikTok. It's not a community in the sense that you're not having that same participation. So you post your stuff, and if people want it, they respond back to you, and it's just kind of this two-way conversation. But a Facebook group is a very like multi-way conversation, and you have to think about how to facilitate rather than how to just show up by yourself. So that like exercise of thinking about how you would host a party and what you would do and what that party would look like, it gives you a really good insight into how you can translate that into a Facebook group. So I think that's a really like key difference that I have done. And I see that like the groups that take this on board are a lot more engaged and a lot more fun than the groups that really are focused on just one person trying to sell their things and everybody else not quite knowing how they fit into that space.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
So are you the main moderator in your group? Do you have people helping you? Like, and how many times per day do you post in the group?
Yeah, so currently I do not have anyone helping me. I have had help in the past through like internship programs. Because I've been doing some like systems work and back end changes, I like put a pause on help because it's very difficult to outsource help when you don't know how to tell people what to do. So anyway, I have had help in the past, but currently I don't. So my group is over 2,000 members and I do all by myself. Because I do have Facebook group systems in place. So there's some things that you can do to automate that don't require you to actually show up and do anything, which is really nice. So I have posts that go out every day that are automated that I don't have to touch. I have posts that go out every single month that are automated that I don't have to touch. Members get welcomed automatically, so I don't have to do any of that. So all I'm really doing is every day, like I'm showing up to add the new members that have requested to join if there have been any membership requests that day. I batch my content, so I'm not having to spend time every single day creating content, because I think that trying to get into that mindset of creation every single day is actually very inefficient. So if you are listening and not batching your content, make sure you try and do that because it's much more productive. So I take like an hour a week, maybe 2 hours, depending on how much content I'm trying to create, to just do everything and then it's done. So I'm not having to create content each week. So all I'm doing each day is accepting the membership requests and then participating in my own community, right? So if there's any posts that people want to share, I'm approving them or declining them if they're not following like the posting rules. And then I'm participating. So I'm commenting on their posts, I'm catching up with people, and it takes me about 15 minutes a day. Like it's very efficient, especially the more you do it, the quicker you get. I think that's something that people do feel a little bit bummed out about at the beginning. It's like it takes a long time and it's like it's new. It's going to take a while to learn a skill, but once you've done it, every single day for a couple months, you're going to be so fast that you don't even know what's up. Like it's so good. The more you practice, the quicker you get at these kinds of things as well. So it's
Yeah.
very efficient.
Yeah. Well, what type of content? 'Cause I know you also have a podcast. Like, do you
Yes.
promote your podcast in there? Like, what offers do you share in the group? Like, how do people know, let's say they have a Facebook group, how do
Mhm.
they know what type of content to post, when to
Yeah.
share their offers? Like, what is your strategy?
Yeah, so I mean, there's not a lot of rules that I have around content because it's so variable depending on your niche, your personality, all these things, right? I typically Facebook groups lean towards, at least currently. Again, content trends do change often as well. Currently, people are really enjoying like shorter posts, and so I try and not post anything too long or too lengthy often. Maybe once or twice a week I'll post like a longer story or thought opinion post or something because I want to share something. But people really like short and snappy things these days. That's just where our attention spans are at, which is great news because it's much quicker to create. So it
Yeah,
takes way
exactly.
less time to write
Yeah.
like 5 paragraphs than it does to write like 5 blog posts, essentially, which is where content kind of used to be like 5 or 6 years ago. So, yeah, as far as the content types, I love asking questions in my group because it gets people chatting, it gets people engaging and participating. So I ask a lot of questions. I do promote my podcast. I promote anything else that's going on. I just ran a workshop recently, so I was in there, promoting my workshop, getting people to come sign up. Um, you can go live. I try and go live every single week in my group because I think that's so, I mean, gosh, we could talk forever about that, but it's a really, really good, powerful strategy for getting engagement and for selling in your group. So going live. And then as far as the rest of the content goes, I mean, it's whatever kind of content you really like to create. I personally love writing things that are kind of, I think I've heard other people call it like thought leadership. You can kind of call it whatever label you want, but it's basically content that shows why I'm an expert and why I know things, and it's helping people see why I do certain things, why I'm making a decision, or why I like something or don't like something. It's basically giving people my opinions and perspectives because that shows that I really know and understand the topic that we're talking about. Like I'm not just going 3 tips to start a Facebook group. Like I have tips to start a Facebook group, but they're contained within either like free resources or trainings or masterclasses or offers. But like for people to want to know and trust my 3 tips, I've got to tell them like, well, here's why Facebook groups still work, or here's what to think about if your group is dead. Like here's
Yeah.
how you bring it back to life. Like here's why I'm still on the Facebook groups trend and not jump and ship to a different platform. Like those kinds of things help people see me and view me as a leader and an expert in my area of expertise rather than just sharing stuff that very frankly I could go to ChatGPT and copy paste and people
Yeah.
would be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I could go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, give me 3 tips to start a Facebook group, and it would
Exactly.
give
And
me
that's what
three
people are
tips.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, this is how I grew my Facebook group from 0 to 2,000 within 2 years or whatever. So
Yeah.
people see that and it's like, oh, well, I want to know how she grew her Facebook group. Like
Hmm.
you're a real person.
Yeah.
So, and then speaking of other platforms, people have memberships. Like I have a small membership. There's
Hmm.
membership platforms that do similar things and maybe even a little bit more robust than a Facebook page. Like,
Hmm.
how do you handle that? Like if someone has like a membership platform where you can also post in the group, you can also share content and all these other things. Why would you say Facebook is better? Or would you say Facebook is better?
Yeah, it depends on the goal, right? So I also have like my main offer is a membership, and I do not host that on Facebook because it's a private thing, right? People have to pay me to access it. So I host that on a private platform. And I think that that's for me the main differentiator is this a paid space where people have to come and work with you in order to access the space, or is it a lead generation marketing tool? If you're using it for marketing, you want to be as visible as you possibly can. So why would you not go on the biggest social media platform that there is, right? Facebook is the
You are
still the
convincing me.
most.
I'm sorry, Sarah. You are convincing me right now with that. Okay, keep going.
You're okay. Yeah, because Facebook is still the most used platform on all social media. Like
Yes.
ever, I feel like it's not talked about as much, right? We talk a lot about how TikTok is coming up, and certainly like if you're working with like Gen Zers or what is the newest one, Gen Alpha, I don't even know. I'm losing track. But if you're
Yeah,
working
me
with like
too.
really, really little people, definitely like TikTok is probably your place to be because in that demographic, like there's no competitor. But across
Mhm.
the board, most people and all even those people still do have a Facebook. They just don't use it the same way that most people would use Facebook because they're young and they're up and coming and doing different
Yeah.
things. But
Yeah.
point being, every single person, like I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but it is still like billions of monthly users on Facebook. So if you want to use it for getting people into your audience, you want to be where they are. And that is going to be on one of the main social media platforms. Private spaces are amazing for events or for your offers or for your programs or anything like that. Like I just hosted a summit and I had our summit community on a private platform because it was well, it wasn't a paid space, but it was a space people had to register to attend. And I thought, why not put it on this private platform? It felt more exclusive. It felt more fun. It was a space that we could really just dive into all of the summit topics and videos, and I was able to like host like the videos and the learning things inside of that same platform. So it worked really nicely for that. But I would never want to put my marketing on that platform because then I have to still tell people to go there, right? That's the thing about marketing. You don't want to tell people to come and find you. That makes it very difficult. You want it to be as easy as possible for people to find you. So you're going to pick a major platform. So whether that is a Facebook group or it's Instagram or TikTok or something, right? You want to pick something where your people already are so that it's a very easy next step for them to come and follow you or join the group or something like that, where they can then learn more about you. And then once they trust you and they're like, okay, I do want to take more steps, great, then direct them off of a platform where they're going to go intentionally spend time. But people don't like, I don't, my platform that I use for my offers and my like my membership does have free communities on there, but I don't ever like, I don't go browse on that platform for communities. I'm not over there like, ooh, which space
Yeah,
could I join? Because I
right.
just don't, it's not part of my daily habits, right? What are
Mhm.
my daily habits? I wake up, and if I'm not being good about my daily habits, the first thing I do is I go on my phone and I'm scrolling on Facebook and I'm catching up with things. And if there's a little group that pops up that says, oh, you might be interested in this group, I'm like, oh, actually, I am. Like, let's just click to join it. That's how easy it is when you're
Yeah.
using a platform like Facebook.
Oh my goodness. I have so many follow-up questions for you. I should have made this an hour interview.
We'll
Okay.
come back for a part two.
Yes, exactly. So I was thinking it was an either or. So, as I mentioned, I have a small membership
Mhm.
and I did have a Facebook community just for that membership. And there were people that wanted to join, but like I would decline them thinking, okay, I don't want them in this small private group. So what you're saying and what you do, you also have a membership, but you host it somewhere else for paid
Mhm.
members, but you also have the Facebook group for anyone who wants to join. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. And
That
I
makes
did
sense.
I did originally have like my paid community space on Facebook when I was first starting, like when I was doing group programs and stuff before I opened up this membership. I did have those spaces on Facebook. So Facebook is still a great place to have like your community for the people that are working with you. You don't have to take it off of the platform if you don't want to. You just maybe want to make sure that the group is hidden so that people can't just like randomly find it and join it. But yeah, it's you can have both, and I think I recommend having. Obviously, I recommend having both, but because you want that space that you're going to generate leads and connect with people that are interested in working with you. You have to have a home somewhere. So even if the home is not a Facebook group, the home could be an Instagram page or something like that. That's fine. But you have to have somewhere that you're bringing people to so that they can spend more time getting to know you and getting familiar with your offers. People are taking longer to buy now than they maybe used to. They're a bit more discerning. They're taking a little bit more time to scope you out. Someone just joined my membership last week and had said, "I'm so happy that I'm here, but I have been listening to your podcast for a year before I decided that this was the right time to come work with you." It's like some people do take a long time, so you got to have a space to house them
Yeah,
while
right.
they're
You need a
deciding
landing
and thinking,
page.
right? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So just to follow up, because you have the membership. So how do you know, like for your Facebook group pretty much is a lead generator,
Yeah.
and from the Facebook group, people actually decide to join your membership or your courses, et cetera, and then you lead them to your
Yep.
membership. Like, how do you know content wise? Because that's still a lot of content that you have
Hmm.
to create, like for your membership, your private membership, and then also for the Facebook group. Are you repurposing the content? Like, how do you know what content to have in your Facebook group versus your membership? Because your
Yeah.
members also are a part of your Facebook group, right? The paid members.
I think most of them will be because that's where they found me and started. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a really good question. So the membership is my offer, right? So that is where I am teaching, I am training, I am helping and supporting people. So I actually don't create a lot of fresh content for the membership. I do okay. I run master classes and things, but my membership is essentially I have pre-recorded information that people are working through and they get support inside the membership to like learn and implement everything. So that's like the membership for me is where I'm doing my actual support for people that want to start a Facebook group. They come in there and we work together and we figure it all out and they stay as long as they want to while we're learning everything. The content in the Facebook group is then to get people to come and work with me. And it sounds very like inhumane to say that, but that is the goal. Like I will obviously support people in there a little bit. Like I will do events, I share resources, I host trainings and master classes, but even within those trainings and stuff, the goal is to help people understand why they want to come and work with me and give them the information to make that decision. And so that's all sales is like here's some information. What do you want
Yeah.
to do with it? Do you want to come come with me or not. I'm fine if you don't, but if you do, this is the link. Come join us over here, right? And
Yeah.
that's how I think about the Facebook group. So all the content that I create inside the Facebook group is to basically help people. What are the three things? I'm trying to like remember off the top of my head now. There's like three things. I'm helping them either trust me. I'm helping them trust in like believe in me, believe in the offer, as in like that it's the right thing for them, and to believe in themselves that they are actually someone that is capable of doing the things that they need to do in order to get the result that they want. Because those three things need to be in place, or they're never going to purchase from me and then actually see a result, right? Because people do have had people come into the membership before, but they really are not 100% sold on Facebook group. And then they leave after a few months because they're not committed and they don't want to, and that's okay. But they're never going to get a result if they're not committed, right? So that's the goal of your free content, right? Is to help people believe in you, believe in themselves, and believe in your offer. And then that's when sales happen, and that's when they come into your paid spaces.
That's good. So because this is such a short interview, I have three follow-up questions.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll remember them. Hopefully I remember them. Okay, so the first one, so your Facebook group members, do you also get them on your mailing list?
Yes. A lot
Okay.
of them do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Is that a prerequisite for them to join your group?
I always recommend having a question in your membership questions for their email. I will still accept people if they don't put it in there because I don't want it to be this forced thing. You can make it like a hard boundary, like you have to have this information or you don't get accepted. For me, I know that I'm gonna catch them at some point when they're inside the group because I have other free resources. I have so many ways that people can get on my email list that to me, I'm not bothered as long as they've answered one of the membership questions, that's
Yeah,
fine with me.
right.
So there's so many ways to get people on your email list, but membership questions
Yeah,
are a really good one. Yeah.
yeah. And then the second question, how do you grow your Facebook page? Like, how do people find your page? Is it through SEO? Is it because you've niched down?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix. So I have my group optimized in the sense that it's very searchable. I have a very boring name. I have a very nice cover photo. I have a good description that tells people what's inside the group, and people can find me through searching for the things that I have in those places, and they'll see, oh, like I'm interested in Facebook groups. This is a group about Facebook groups. Great, I'll join. So there's a component of that. Um, Facebook will help you with this at some point. Like once your group is active and is growing, Facebook will recommend it to people. It will like pop up in the feed, like groups you might want to join. Like Facebook will help you out a lot with this as your group goes on. But in the beginning, you do have to do a bit of manual work. So I have a 15-minute per day strategy, and that is all that I do to grow my group. It's like three simple steps. And I go into another Facebook group, and that is how I grow my group. I spend 15 minutes networking in someone else's Facebook group and inviting people to come into my own. And that is that. It's a very simple strategy.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
And then the last question, and we will have a part two because this is so
We
rich
need
in
it.
conversation. Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned it a little bit, but specifically, like, how do you monetize your Facebook group?
Yeah. So I monetize it by inviting people to come and work with me. And so I have that happens in a couple of different ways. A lot of the selling does happen on my email list. So like priority number one is getting people onto my email list because as much as we love social media, it's the content is not always seen by everybody. And that's just we all know it. It's getting worse the more like busy it is. So it's so important that you have that email list so that you can connect so much better with people in there. So that's part of my selling strategy is getting people into my email list. I monetize it by hosting events that I sell my offers from. And then I monetize it by just talking about my offer a ton. And like I have repeating posts that talk about my offers. I talk about my offers on most of the content that I create, not all of it. And again, it can be so simple. It's like a lot of the content, the invitations are like a little, like almost a PS at the end. It's like, by the way, like I teach this inside of my membership. Like come into the membership if you want to learn this thing, or like if you want to see how this person has done this thing. Like, it's all very simple invitations, and that's why it doesn't ever feel what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't feel like I'm punching people in the
LZ.
face with it, right? Like, it's just that's the invitation. They can take it or leave it. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it
Yeah.
matters a little bit, right? I want them to come work with me, but I'm
Right.
not going to be mad, right? It's
Yeah.
just a very simple, like, here it is on the table. Take it up if you want to. And I think most people that struggle to monetize their groups are honestly just not talking about their offers enough because we do have this like mind drama about selling too much or not wanting to be bothered. I had to say this to a client recently, but like your ideal clients are never going to be bothered by you talking about your offers, because your ideal clients want your offers and they need the reminders and they need to know what it's about and they need to believe and they want to believe. They're never like those ideal people are never going to be bothered by you selling to them because they want it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I try and think about. Like when I'm putting the sales pitches in my content, I'm not thinking about the person that's going to be grouchy about it because I don't want to work with them if they're going to be grouchy about me
Yeah.
talking about my offers. I'm thinking about the person that needs it and wants it and just needs some information or needs that like mindset shift or needs that like eye-opening moment to think like, oh my gosh, I do. Like I want this. I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last question. So let's say someone from the Facebook group, they want to join your membership. Like, how do you know if that person is the right fit for your membership? Like culture-wise, like if
Yeah.
they're a good fit.
I mean, and sorry, I'm like backing up because it depends, like the actual sales process obviously depends on the type of offer that you have and the type of membership that you have or whatever. So like a lot of people will still go to discovery calls or sales calls because they're working a little bit more one-on-one with people and they want to make sure things are a good fit. For me, like if they're in my Facebook group and they're enjoying my content, they're going to be a good fit in the membership because like people that like my content in one space are going to like my content in other spaces. And if they're really not a good fit and they don't like it, they're free to leave, right? Because like the way that I have my membership structured, it's like there's no minimum commitment. So if they get in there and they're like, oh, actually, this is not the space for me, like that's okay. They don't have to stick around, right? So for me, I'm not policing it too much because I trust that the people that are enjoying the space that they've come into in the free capacity are going to be the same fit and this a good fit for the paid capacity. But you can always direct people to like an application or other things like that. You don't necessarily need to go straight from content to sales. It doesn't always work that way. It's not always as straightforward as that, depending on the type of offer that you have anyway. But you can have like some sort of buffer in there if you need to like scope people out or make sure or whatever that process looks like. Because especially if you do have like service-based offers or one-on-one offers or like more intimate coaching, like whatever that looks like, where you really want to make sure you're a good fit to work together, like direct them to sales calls or something so that you can make sure that that is there before they just hop on in, you know?
Exactly. Well, this has been great, Sarah. Thank you so much for being on the show. So if people are interested in your Facebook group or your membership or whatever it is that you offer, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can come into my Facebook group if you're curious about anything Facebook group related. It's just called Profitable Facebook Groups. My podcast has the same name. And I have a free resource that you can actually deep dive in that'll teach you everything you need to start and grow your Facebook group. I actually this wasn't intentional, but I have it printed out on my desk.
Oh, can we put it in the show notes? Is it a download too?
Yes, so we'll put the link. It's a free download. It's like 64 pages. It's literally got like every single thing that you need to know.
Oh my goodness.
Everything you need to know to start and grow a Facebook group is in there. There's a lot of information. So if you're like really curious and want to go further, go grab that download. We'll put it in the show notes. It's great. It's such a fun guide. I had so much fun putting it together.
All right. Thank you so much for listening today. If you got value from this episode and you know of someone else who could use this, would you do me a favor and share this with her? My platform is not only meant to be a blessing, but it's meant to encourage you to pursue your God-led passions so you can make a positive difference in the world. Until next time.